We will get justice for Freddie Gray. Believe you me, we will get justice. And we're going to do it because we're going to work together, because if, with the nation watching, 3 black women at 3 different levels can't get justice and healing for this community, you tell me where we're going to get it in our country.
Baltimore happened because a 4-decade veteran liberal Democratic leadership failed miserably, lied to its people, and led people of every color down a path filled with graft and corruption. Baltimore happened because for more than 4 decades, the conservative right leadership has been slapping down anybody of color, stealing money from their neighborhoods to ensure the black man is screwed at every turn. These are the arguments. This is the often heard vitriol from both sides. These are the statements that ring so hollow because they are filled with hyperbole and hate, far too often lacking fact and common sense. Let's try to get both. First up, she's a political and cultural commentator, and in 2013 was named one of the most influential African Americans under 40 in Los Angeles. From the left, Jasmyne Cannick. And he is senior pastor at the Hope Christian Church in Washington, D.C., founder and chairman of the High Impact Leadership Coalition. From the right, Bishop Harry Jackson, Jr. I thank you both for joining us.
Thank you.
First of all, I'm going to come to you on this one, Jasmyne, because here's what has been said the last few days. Now, you both heard what I said coming in. You both know that that is what the different sides all say. The city of Baltimore has had 2 Republicans sitting in the mayor's office since the 1920s, none since the 1960s. 40-plus years of Democratic leadership, yet still many people want to say it's the right's fault. How can you say that knowing that the Democrats and the left have been in charge of a city that has now been on fire?
Look, I spent most of my career working for Democrats. I think what you're seeing, not just in Baltimore and but around the country, is just African Americans fed up, period, with what's going on. It's not just about police misconduct and police abuse. It's about lack of access to employment. It's about lack of access to affordable housing. It's about all of these issues that are sort of combined. And at some point, you kind of reach the tipping point. Do I think the Democrats are to blame more, Republicans are to blame more? I think everyone has a hand in this. Everyone has a role. And so again, we're dealing with this in Los Angeles as well, where there are some serious issues going on, much similar to Baltimore.
All right, Bishop, is it fair to say that at least what Jasmyne's pointing out here is that maybe we need to stop some of this rhetoric here and say that everybody's to blame? This doesn't fall on one side, or does it?
Well, I don't agree with Jasmyne on a whole lot of things, but I think she's right on this one, except for this fact, and that is there seem to be 2 dimensions of the black community. There are folks who are multi-millionaires. The NFL and NBA, you could call them Black Millionaires Club. They've got a lot of folks who are making money in entertainment, but there still is a substantial gap, and there is a group of blacks, especially those who have encountered the criminal justice system, who are a part of a group that is almost in a permanent underclass status, and it's hopeless, it's helpless for them.
But why are they in that permanent status? So I guess there's the point we've got to get to here. We keep pointing this, and I hear this over and over again. There's got to be somebody there who's not getting the job done to bring them out of that class.
Well, look, if I could go ahead, Jasmyne. Sorry.
No, go ahead, Bishop. Go ahead.
I was going to say that for me, I want to put onus on the church as well. It's going to take the church leading the way. We've been divided based on race and other things. We're coming together. And it's going to take government, and it's going to take business. It's not going to be a government-only solution. And many liberals, I don't want to categorize or stereotype, but many liberals tend to think that government is almost God. But we really need to do something. We've started a new initiative, and I'll stop after this and let Jasmyne speak.
Very quickly, go ahead.
Yeah, called the Reconciled Church Initiative. We've got national leaders, T.D. Jakes, James Robinson, leaders, about 40 million Christians in America who want to work together to heal the racial divide on 7 bridges. And we'll talk more about that in a moment.
Okay, we've only got a couple of minutes left here, so Jasmyne, I want to bring this to you. Now, the pastor just said, Bishop just said, church, business, and government. We hear that, again, I hate to say this, but we've heard this all before. They've all got to get together. But we keep hearing it. We hear it after every single major city has a problem. I heard it in Miami back in the 80s, and it hasn't gotten any better there. We've heard it in New York, Chicago, all around the country. Jasmine, please, it's a headache now that people are getting. How do we break through this and say, let's get everybody to work together and at least get something done? Who gets it done?
Look, for me, the issue comes down to common sense, okay? So when you talk
common
about
sense. Wait a minute, Jasmine, are you serious? Common sense, please. Don't bring common sense into this because we all know that no one talks about that.
When you want to talk about the barriers that are holding people back, right? We have to look at the laws that have been put into place where people, you know, who have certain types of records can't get jobs. The things that keep people from getting jobs also keep them from being able to rent apartments and being able to take care of themselves and their family.
But then who's stopping that, Jasmine? Is it the left or the right that's stopping when we get that done in government?
Everyone. It's everyone. There's no one side to blame because at the end of the day, everyone has a vote on these bills and the legislation that goes back and forth. So it's not just the Democrats. It's not just the Republicans. There is a certain group of people who benefit from keeping African Americans in a certain underclass.
Who are those people?
You know exactly who those people
are.
No,
I want you to tell me. 10 seconds. Who are those people?
So what we have to do as black people, especially the blacks who call themselves Democrats, is we need to get a little bit more serious about who we elect to office to carry our issues. If we're electing people into office who aren't doing what they're supposed to be doing, then we need to boot them out of office.
Okay, to you, Bishop Harry, 20 seconds left to answer back.
Yeah, I think that we got to get people out of the office. I want you to look at the reconciledchurch.org. We have best practices for churches. But I do think Democrats have failed in major urban areas again and again. We need to throw the bums out, put some new people in, independents and Republicans, and try to raise entrepreneurial.
I'll go with that every single time. We're going to continue this discussion with the two of you sometime. Jasmyne Cannick, Bishop Harry Jackson Jr., thank you so much for joining us. Common sense of the words, the hard line will continue.